Hey everyone, what's going on? Alright, so I'm sure everyone knows about this at this point. I mean, it's basically breaking the internet right now. This whole thing with Chris Chan and his mom and whatnot. And I'm sure most of you know who Chris Chan is. If you don't, I can probably link a few videos down below that basically takes you through the whole like career or like life online of Chris Chan and whatnot. He's basically been an internet lol cow for like years and years and years and whatnot. Um, yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. This particular situation is not interesting. It's really gross and sickening and whatnot. But yeah, I mean that's who Chris Chan is in a nutshell. Like I said, I can link some videos below, and you can watch those and kind of get caught up to speed on who this person is. And also, just as a side note, not that it matters in the context of the situation because it doesn't, but if anyone stumbles upon this video and wants to chastise me for not using the right name and the right pronouns for Chris Chan, fuck you. Just like, fuck you. Alright, it's Chris Chan. He is Chris Chan. He's not Christine, he is Chris Chan. And he was never an authentic trans person to begin with. He was always been another transgender. I can guarantee you that. Okay, I don't give a fucking shit what his pronouns are, what his gender identity is. I don't give a shit. And like I said, I know it doesn't matter in the context of the situation, but I've seen people actually trying to, like I said, stumble over themselves trying to use the correct name and pronouns and whatnot, and it's ridiculous. Chris Chan doesn't deserve that type of respect. It's already bad enough that you've got Jessica Yaniv and Alok, whatever the fuck his name is, trying to represent the trans community. They don't need another freak trying to represent them. So if you want to chastise me for not using the correct pronouns and the correct name, fuck you. That out of the way. So there's been a lot of jokes made, and whatnot. And I mean, I'm not condemning jokes and whatnot. There's certainly plenty of jokes to be had. Like I said, Chris Chan is like one of the biggest lol cows on the internet and has been for like, I think like over a decade at this point. He's been around for quite a while. But he has, well, I mean, he admitted to it. I mean, he admitted to it in this leaked video. He admitted to basically taking advantage of his elderly mother. Like, I think she's like 79, 80 years old, and she's like dementia ridden, I think, basically. And he admitted to basically taking advantage of her and sexually assaulting and straight up raping her and whatnot. And I guess he had written like, because Chris Chan is a writer, he's written like these comics and whatnot before. Sonichu, of course, the famous Sonichu, and he's written like a lot of pornographic stuff. And I guess he wrote something about like him and his mom and his mom, a younger version of his mom, but I guess he decided to enact that fantasy that he was writing about, and so that's basically what happened. And as you can imagine, just thinking about it, like I don't even want to think about it. Just talking about it and thinking about it makes me want to vomit because it's just disgusting. It's repulsive. It's deviant. It's heinous. It's horrific. I mean, it's every negative word you can use to, like I said to someone else, like Stephen King and Clive Barker and any other horror author can, I'm sure hasn't written stuff this, okay, well maybe Barker probably has written stuff this fucked up, but still, like, you can't make this shit up. It's just like, it's disgusting, it's repulsive. And like I said, a lot of people are making like the jokes, Chris Chan jokes and whatnot, the final anime episode or the final or whatever, I don't know, whatever the fuck jokes people are making. Which I mean, again, I'm not condemning that. Like I said, Chris Chan is a very joke-worthy person. He's deserving of having jokes made at his expense. At this point, he deserves a lot more than that. At this point. And I mean, he really does. I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, this person is a giant man-child, spoiled brat, baby, always has been, always will be. And I made a post about this, but this is why parents should not raise their kids to believe that they're incapable of making mistakes, that they can do no wrong, that they're infallible. Like, this is why parents need to teach their kids things like responsibility, accountability, that there's consequences for your actions, just raising them to be a balanced, decent human being. And Christian's parents did not do that. Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that, Barbara, Christian's mom, I'm not saying she deserved what happened to her, because no one deserves that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that Christian is a perfect example of what happens when you don't properly teach your kid just about being a decent human being, not bringing them up properly, spoiling them, not disciplining them at all. And I guess, I know discipline can be kind of a scary word because people have different ideas of what discipline is. But, discipline really just boils down to teaching your kid right from wrong. There are wrong actions you can take against another person. There are right actions and wrong actions. Choices. There are bad choices and good choices that you can make in life. And Christianity is an example of what happens when you don't instill those types of values into your kid. And honestly, again, all jokes aside, I would hope that I would hope that he just gets locked up after this, whether it's in a mental facility or even if he gets tried, and gets sent to like some sort of jail or prison or something. I feel like because Christian does have Asperger's syndrome, autism, essentially. So I don't know if because of that, and I think he has it to, I don't know to what degree he has it. He doesn't have it to like, I'm not sure, but I know that he has it to some degree at least. Not saying that excuses anything, but I don't know if because of that he'll be tried differently, but his actions are just so heinous that it wouldn't bother me if they tried him and actually tried to send him to like an actual jail or prison or whatever. And I would hope he would get treated the same in prison as he treated his mother, quite frankly. He deserves to have his brain splattered across the wall. Really, he's a piece of shit. I don't care if he can be considered mentally handicapped or whatnot. I don't give a shit. Doesn't excuse that. Never excuses anything like that. If you're, whether you've got autism or anything else, it doesn't excuse you from shitty actions and bad choices, and you deserve the same consequences as everyone else. And Christian, quite frankly, does. And I hope that he does. But yeah, I'd like to see. I would like to see the worst possible thing happen to this motherfucker. This huge, like I said, overgrown man baby who has never had to face the consequences of his actions ever, and was raised, I guess, to believe that he's God's gift to humanity and whatnot. And and another thing, some people were speculating that maybe he was coerced into saying it or whatever. I can see that. He's been coerced into saying things before, but I really don't think so. Because one, he has a history of being a pervert. In one of the documentaries that I watched, it talked about this friend that he had, this female friend that he had like long, long ago. And he tried to get with her, and she didn't want that, but he kept trying to pursue her and whatnot and doing all sorts of things. As well as, again, the pornographic content that he would write and the Sonichu stuff and whatnot. And as well as being perverted towards other women, which, again, he was trolled a lot in the past. Like, there would be, like, people who would pose as, like, women, and then they would talk to him, and he would fall for it and whatnot. But still, he has a history of being a bit of a perv. And if you watch some of his videos on his current channel, and you see his mom, and there are several videos where he has the camera on his mom and is making her say stuff and whatnot, and he's basically exploiting his mom is what he's doing. And there's one video where I remember watching just out of curiosity because I was bored, and his mom was saying something to him, and he was very, very disrespectful towards her, and he was like yelling at her, and I think he was getting something on the carpet. He was like, "Oh, don't worry about the carpet," and was just being very, very disrespectful. You know, I mean, I wanted to just reach into the screen and fucking smack the shit out of him because, like, that's your elderly mother. You don't talk to her like that. You just don't. I don't care. You don't. Like, that's worthy of getting the shit smacked out of you. You're a fucking grown adult. Act like one. And again, I don't care to what extent he has autism or if he's mentally handicapped. I don't care. Like, it doesn't excuse you from shitty actions. So yeah, with all that, I can believe that he did this. I can believe that he did, just with all that and whatnot. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I could be entirely wrong, but I do believe that he actually did do this. Given his history, past actions, past behavior, I can believe that he would do something like this. It's sickening, it's vile, it's horrifying, it's evil, quite frankly. He needs to be locked up. Again, whether it's a mental facility or prison, whatever, he needs to be locked up, and Barbara needs to just be probably put into like a retirement home or something, or somewhere where she's going to get taken care of. You know, Barbara certainly has her faults, but I mean, she doesn't deserve what happened to her. No one in her situation would deserve that at all. So yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say other than that. So, peace, and have a good day.